welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, you and I are going to explore the fascinating literary landscape of author Elle Wyse. We've got a couple of interesting things here from Amazon. Details on her books, The Hardy Files, The Blackwell Mystery, and The Eternal Flame of Draconic Fireforge, which is book 6 of a series, plus her author bio.
Exactly. And the goal here isn't just to list facts, right? We want to sort of dig into what this range, this contrast tells us about her as a writer.
Yeah, what's going on behind the scenes, creatively speaking?
Are there common threads? What drives someone to write, a gritty detective story and a kid's fantasy about dragons?
Okay, so let's start with the author herself, Elle Wyse. She's from Turkey, in Devon.
Right.
And apparently she's had this love for writing pretty much her whole life, which is, a start we often hear, but still interesting.
It is, yeah. But what adds a layer right away is that she's also a devoted cardinal with the Ecumenical Order of Christ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her faith is described as, really central to her life.
That's quite significant, isn't it? It makes you wonder how that kind of deep faith might weave its way into her stories, even in genres that don't seem obviously religious.
Yeah.
Maybe it affects the morality or the sense of justice.
Could be. Or maybe larger themes of purpose or destiny, perhaps more in the fantasy. And here's another interesting detail. Her bio mentions her passion for writing really reignited in her 50s.
Ah, a creative renaissance, they call it. That's great.
Yeah, it suggests maybe a whole new wave of perspective and experience coming into her work now.
Absolutely. Like a second act, bringing all that life experience to the page. And clearly that energy has pushed her into writing quite different things. So let's dive into the first book, The Hardy Files, The Blackwell Mystery.
Oh.
Amazon puts it under mystery, thriller, and suspense. Specifically, crime, murder. Sounds like your classic whodunit.
Pretty much. It's the first in a new series featuring Detective Vanessa Hardy and her assistant, June Garford.
A duo, always good for dynamic.
Right. Suggests that back and forth may be different skills coming together.
And this Vanessa Hardy, she sounds like quite a character. Solves crimes with wit, eccentricity, and a dash of Glenn Miller.
Yeah, the Glenn Miller part. What do you make of that? It's so specific.
I know. It kind of paints a picture, doesn't it? Maybe someone who finds clarity in music or just has this slightly, retro or unique rhythm to her approach. Keeps her cool.
Maybe. It suggests personality, definitely. Not just a procedural plot device. Someone who doesn't take herself too seriously, perhaps, even with dark stuff.
And the case itself sounds very classic thriller. Poison patriarch, jewelry empire, secrets, lies.
And a rising body count, naturally.
Of course, high stakes.
And look at the setting, posh mansions, but also shadowy corners of London. That contrast again.
Yeah, the veneer of respectability hiding darkness. Classic.
Allows for that social commentary, maybe.
I love the details about Hardy's methods.
Yes.
A posh British accent, always have cocoa, and uses a chalkboard.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It's so visual. The cocoa and the chalkboard feel almost comforting, like little rituals amidst the chaos.
Exactly. Gives her a real tangible presence. The cocoa feels warm, maybe a bit domestic, and the chalkboard is sort of old school methodical.
Yeah, it builds character quickly.
The description promises a roller coaster of suspense, humor, and brilliant deduction. And it's character-driven, with a well-timed quip and a quick foxtrot, even in dark times.
That blend of humor and suspense is tricky but can be really effective. Very British crime tradition sometimes.
Like keeping spirits up?
Yeah.
A bit of charm alongside the grim stuff.
Right. A certain resilience. The foxtrot in dark times suggests she doesn't get totally bogged down by it all.
It even says the series aims to redefine the genre with cocoa-fueled investigations. That's quite a bold claim.
Huh. It's fun, though. Gives you a sense of the tone.
And look at the details.
Yeah.
Published June 24th, 2024, so very recent. And it's only 39 pages long.
Oh, that is short for a thriller.
Yeah. And the reading age is 16 to 18. What does that length suggest, do you think?
Well, maybe it's more of a novella, like a quick, punchy introduction to the character and the world. Gets you hooked for the series.
Could be. Or maybe targeted more towards YA readers, perhaps less graphic.
Possibly. That reading age fits with that idea, too.
And availability. Kindle is free, or $9.99 to buy. Paperback's $20. That free Kindle option is a smart way to launch a series, get people reading.
Definitely lowers the barrier to entry. Okay, so total shift now.
Complete shift. Get ready. The Eternal Flame of Draconic Fireforge. Queen of the 13 Realms of Nexus Book 6.
Wow.
Amazon category. Children's ebooks, fairy tales, folk tales, and myths dragons.
Right, not London anymore.
Not even close.
Yeah.
It just screams versatility, doesn't it? From contemporary crime to epic children's fantasy.
It really does. Speaks volumes about her imagination or maybe just her interests. What drives that kind of range?
It feels like someone who just loves telling different kinds of stories.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's part of a series, Queen of Nexus, The 13 Realms, follows Sarah Rosemond,
Mm-hmm.
who goes from being an ordinary girl to achieving universal sovereignty.
Okay, classic fantasy trope there. The chosen one, discovery of hidden power.
Totally. What themes usually come with that kind of journey?
Well, you often get themes of inner strength, finding potential you didn't know you had, responsibility, the burdens of power, and usually a massive personal transformation.
And she faces trials beyond mortal comprehension, like the Draconian Council and Wind and Fire trials.
Sounds suitably epic. Those names themselves, Draconian Council, Wind and Fire Trials, they immediately build this fantastical world, complex dragon societies, elemental magic, maybe.
Yeah, it creates that sense of wonder for, presumably, a younger reader. And there's this line about her confronting a choice that will burn away mortal ties and rebirth her.
Ooh, powerful stuff. That sounds like the core transformation moment. Shedding the old self, embracing destiny, often involves sacrifice in these stories.
A point of no return.
Exactly. Building new power, but maybe losing something too.
Then there's the hatching of the prismatic egg, which heralds a new age.
Prismatic. Interesting word choice. Suggests light, color, maybe diversity or complexity. A multifaceted new beginning for this world. Symbols like that are potent in fantasy.
The description is quite poetic. A symphony of color and fire, a dance of destiny and free will, a testament to growth and sacrifice.
Very evocative language, trying to capture that sense of magic and scale. And interesting, they mentioned destiny and free will adds a bit of philosophical depth, even for kids.
Yeah, gets them thinking. And then there's this place, Anukhi's Great Library, where Sarah becomes the custodian of infinite narratives.
Whoa! A library of all stories.
Apparently. What does that even mean in this story?
That's a fantastic concept. It puts stories themselves right at the center of power in this universe. She becomes a guardian of imagination, maybe, of reality itself within these realms. Very cool idea.
It really is. Now, publication date, July 1st, 2024. So like a week after the mystery novel.
Wow, she's prolific.
Seriously. This one's 79 pages, reading age 5 to 13. Again, Kindle free or $9.99, but the paperback is $25.
Higher price for the paperback this time.
Yeah, maybe production costs?
Mm-hmm.
Children's books often have color illustrations, different paper quality maybe.
That's probably it. Different market, different production specs. Makes sense.
Okay, so let's try and, pull these threads together. This massive contrast, gritty London crime, epic kids fantasy. What does it tell us about Elle Wyse?
Well, it's not just showing off range, is it? It suggests maybe she sees fundamental story types or human experiences that can be explored in really different ways.
Like what? Are there any potential themes that could maybe subtly bridge the two? You mentioned transformation for Sarah.
Yeah, and maybe the mystery involves transformation too. Not magical, obviously, but uncovering secrets transforms relationships, understanding. Characters might change as the truth comes out.
That's a good point. And just navigating challenges, solving a murder versus facing dragon councils. Different scale, but still about overcoming obstacles.
Right, and thinking about her background being a cardinal. Her bio mentions other works involving metaphysical exploration and luminous guidance. How might that faith background play in, even subtly? Maybe it shapes her ideas about morality, or justice being restored in the mystery, or a sense of higher purpose in the fantasy.
Could be. Even if it's not explicit, it might form the sort of ethical bedrock of her worlds.
Possibly. And that creative renaissance in her 50s feels key too. This isn't someone just starting out and experimenting. It feels more deliberate.
Like a conscious choice to explore these different avenues now, with more experience behind her.
Exactly. Drawing on more life, perhaps, to fuel different kinds of stories.
And her other titles mentioned in the bio, Beyond the Veil, The Luminescent Path, even sci-fi like Interstellar Dawn, The Unity Chronicles.
Just reinforces it, doesn't it? A really restless imagination. It seems she's driven by curiosity, wanting to explore all sorts of possibilities.
Yeah, a love for story in all its forms, not just sticking to one lane.
Mm-hmm.
And her bio invites readers to lose themselves in her meticulously crafted worlds, find a respite from the mundane.
Which is what so many of us want from stories, right? That escape, that engagement. She clearly understands that power.
Okay, so wrapping up our first look here, Elle Wyse emerges as this really versatile British author. Jumps from crime thrillers to children's fantasy, maybe with deeper metaphysical threads running through her wider work.
Yeah, and this resurgence of writing in her 50s seems to have unlocked this huge creative output across genres, creating these quite different, immersive worlds.
It really does. The contrast is the most striking thing right now.
Absolutely. Makes you really curious about the mind behind it all.
Which brings us to a final thought for you listening. When you see an author like Elle Wyse, who moves so easily between something like The Blackwell Mystery and The Eternal Flame of Draconic Fireforge,
Mm.
completely different styles, different audiences, what do you think we gain as readers from exploring that kind of versatility?
Yeah, what does that ability to navigate such different literary worlds tell us about storytelling itself? About its power to capture, well, everything?
Definitely something to think about. We'll leave it there for this deep dive.